protagonist of Some heroes fight for victory, others get by on their good looks. Into the latter category belongs the protagonist of 1937's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, a largely faithful adaptation of the Grimm fairy tale, which was in turn inspired by oral tradition, or according to some sources, possibly one or two actual young ladies. Beautifully animated by Walt Disney and instructive to children in ways both general and specific, from adhering to the natural world order to the importance of washing your hands. It was one of Adolf Hitler's favorite movies, and I was reminded of another of Adolf Hitler's favorite movies in my recent viewing, the Nibelungenlied from the 1920s, based on the 11th or 12th century epic poem of the same name. The Nibelungenlied focuses on the Germanic Norse hero Siegfried or Sigurd, who's exiled to the woods from a young age and raised by a smith, a dwarf in some versions. The rapport he has with the natural world helps him to survive and thrive, especially after he learns how to talk to birds. He learns this by drinking the blood of a dragon. The differences between Sigurd's and Snow White's stories break down along the lines of conventional expectations for their genders. Everything Siegfried manages to do by exploring or conquering, Snow White does by remaining passive or running away. She runs from the huntsman, she allows herself to be directed to the cottage of the dwarfs by the woodland creatures, and she accepts a gift from the queen. She's even more submissive in the original tale. She accepts multiple gifts from the queen before the final fatal apple. The queen, obsessed with being the most beautiful woman in the world, takes the strikingly odd step of making herself hideous in the Disney movie, something that's not in the original tale. In the film, she relishes the sight of her hands withering, while the crow, symbol of the natural world, looks on in terror. The queen checks to see if there's an antidote to the poison, but she doesn't check to see if there's an antidote to the spell that makes her old and withered. Not that it matters when she plunges to her death and is devoured by vultures. Vultures, more birds, symbolizing the natural world. The queen is motivated to acquire things she has no right to according to natural law. The mother or the stepmother shouldn't be more attractive than her daughter, and therefore more attractive to a suitor. Snow White achieves victory by remaining submissive to the natural law, even when the queen effectively kills her. Death is natural, so the queen, being an agent of the unnatural, naturally can't accomplish actual death. Snow White wins a Prince Charming, and their relationship is never as complex or as interesting as the one between Snow White and Grumpy the dwarf. Grumpy, whose nose looks like a potato, is a bit of a tsundere. He says he doesn't like women or trust them, but he clearly wants a kiss from Snow White just as much as the other dwarfs do. His behavior is more like a child than an old man, really, which is probably why children have an easier time identifying with the dwarfs. They really are stand-ins for the children in this movie. The dwarfs learn lessons from Snow White, like washing their hands, and these were intended to be lessons for the children in the audience. And Snow White teaching the importance of cleanliness and taking care of the home and being connected to the natural order reinforces the idea that conformity is natural. There's a natural order to life, and cleaning and taking care of your home is part of that, which is probably a good lesson. On the other hand, why shouldn't the queen be as beautiful as her stepdaughter? Especially since that beauty doesn't really seem to be that important to Snow White. Of course, that beauty is doing a lot of work for Snow White. It's the reason everybody wants to help her. It's the reason a viable mate at the end of the movie ends up wanting to be with her. She shouldn't have to worry about that stuff. She's young, so her legs are doing the legwork, as you might say. Not that we ever see her legs. At the end of the day, all the characters in the movie are archetypes, and they can be applied pretty broadly. And so anything weirder or out of the ordinary wouldn't have any place in Snow White. But it's fun to fantasize about Snow White ending up with Grumpy.